When you're the daughter of a big star, people don't always see the real you. They see your last name first. And your heart last. For Riley Burruss, being Kandi's daughter wasn't just a name. It was like a shadow that followed her everywhere. But under that shadow was a little girl, just trying to be seen. Not as a famous person's daughter, just as herself. From the day Riley was born, cameras were everywhere. Bright lights. Flashing pictures. People whispering things like, "She's going to be famous too," or, "She has to be just like her mom." But the real Riley, the little girl behind all that, was not ready for this big spotlight. She was quiet. She liked to think and dream. She kept her feelings inside. At first, no one really noticed. But slowly, Riley started to pull away. When other kids laughed and shouted, she stayed quiet. When they wanted attention, she tried to hide. Her smile didn't always feel real. It felt like she was pretending to be someone else. And then came the internet. People started writing mean things about her. About her weight, her looks, her clothes. Sometimes people were cruel. Sometimes they just didn't think before speaking. Who does she think she is? She's only known because of her mom. These words hurt Riley deeply. But no one could see how much. At school. At home. Everywhere. Riley felt like she had to be perfect. But not her kind of perfection. Someone else's idea of perfection. That pressure didn't scream, it whispered. And it made the little girl inside her feel smaller and smaller. This was the shadow Riley lived in. A world where her voice was hidden under what people expected from her. But this is not the end. It's just the beginning. Because sometimes, the darkest shadows help us find the brightest light. Silence isn't always empty. Sometimes silence is full of feelings that are too heavy to say. For Riley, silence was loud. But no one really heard it. When Riley didn't talk, or stayed quiet in a crowd, people thought she was just shy. Some said she didn't care. Some even said she was spoiled. But they didn't know what was going on inside. She was scared of being misunderstood. She wanted a safe place, just to be herself. Even when her friends were around, Riley felt alone. Because she wasn't just any girl. She was Kandi Burruss's daughter. And that made life harder. There were invisible walls all around her. Walls built by strangers' comments. Walls made from the feeling that she wasn't enough. It's not that her family didn't love her. They loved her a lot. But sometimes love isn't loud enough. Sometimes it doesn't reach the quiet places inside. When Riley needed to talk, she stayed silent instead. Because silence felt safer. But Kandi noticed. She saw how Riley looked away when someone talked to her. She saw how Riley pulled back when cameras were near. Kandi heard the quiet words Riley didn't say. She knew this wasn't just Riley being a teenager. This was Riley calling for help, without using words. The silence that no one heard was the loudest thing in Riley's world. And that silence was the first step to something new. Because sometimes healing starts in quiet moments. Sometimes love doesn't shout. It whispers. Love isn't a soft look. A gentle hand. A quiet moment. Just being there. For Kandi and Riley, love was like that. It held them together, even when words didn't. Kandi didn't try to fix everything right away. She didn't push Riley to talk. She just stayed close. She watched. She listened. She saw how Riley hesitated before speaking. How she got nervous when cameras were around. Kandi knew that forcing Riley to talk wouldn't help. What Riley needed was space. Space to feel safe. Space to grow. So Kandi gave her that. Sometimes, late at night they had quiet talks. Just the two of them. Away from the world. Sometimes Kandi just sat with Riley and didn't say anything. Other times she told Riley her own stories. About being scared, about not knowing what to do. She showed Riley, you're not alone. Kandi's love didn't rush. It wasn't demanding. It stayed steady and kind. She believed that real confidence doesn't come by force. It grows slowly, with care. So she helped Riley gently. Letting her explore her own path, without pressure. That quiet, patient love became a safe place for Riley. And slowly, Riley began to trust. Trust herself. Trust her mom. Trust that she had a voice too. It didn't happen all at once. But little by little, she grew stronger. In a world that's always noisy, Kandi showed that sometimes the strongest kind of love is quiet. It says, I'm here. I see you. I believe in you. Growing up in the spotlight is not like a normal childhood. For Riley, life felt like a battle. On one side, she was just a kid, wanting to laugh, play, and feel free. On the other side, she was Kandi Burruss's daughter, always being watched, judged, and talked about. She felt pulled in both directions. But neither side felt like home. The internet was cruel. People wrote mean things about her looks, her clothes, her life. Each comment felt like a heavy rock on her back. They made her feel small. They made her question who she really was. Being on a reality show like The Real Housewives of Atlanta meant living your life in front of everyone. Every time Riley smiled, people judged it. Every time she cried, people talked about it. She almost never had any privacy. And the pressure to be perfect never stopped. But through all of it, her mom, Kandi, tried to protect her. She fought back against the hate. She stood up for her daughter. She reminded Riley that her value didn't depend on what strangers said. Still, the pressure was too much. Riley was just a girl trying to live a normal childhood. But fame made it very hard. Some days, she felt like she was losing herself. Like the girl she used to be was fading away. Riley was fighting a battle to stay true to who she was. Even when the world tried to tell her who to be. But every hard journey has a moment that changes everything. And Riley's moment was coming. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is speak. For Riley, finding her voice wasn't just about saying words. It was about finding herself again. After many years of staying quiet and doubting herself, there came a moment when Riley said to herself, "I don't want to hide anymore." She wanted people to hear her, not as someone's daughter, but as her own person. And Kandi was there. Every step of the way. She gave Riley kind words. She never gave up on her. She helped Riley open her heart, to share her dreams, her fears, her pain. Kandi kept telling her, "Your voice matters. You are strong. Speak your truth. That's how you become free." So Riley started talking. First with close friends. Then with my family. Then slowly, with the world. Through social media. In interviews. Even on camera. And with every word she spoke, her confidence grew. Speaking up changed everything. Now Riley had control of her own story. She could say what she felt. She didn't have to let others write her story for her anymore. Most of all, speaking out helped her heal. The quiet little girl who once felt invisible had now become a young woman, strong, brave, and proud. Her voice wasn't just sound. It was power. Being a mother in the spotlight is not easy. For Kandi, protecting Riley's heart came with lessons no one teaches you. She learned about deep love, about sacrifice, about strength. Kandi knew that fame was tricky. It could bring light, but it could also burn. She wanted Riley to live her dreams, without losing herself. But that balance was hard. Sometimes it felt impossible. Kandi's most important job wasn't being famous. It was keeping Riley safe from the noise, the pressure, the judgment. She learned when to step in, and when to step back, and when just to listen, all to give Riley space. Space to grow in her own way. Yes, fame made their life different. But deep down, they were just like any mom and daughter. They had love, patience, and unbreakable belief in each other. Kandi's story isn't just about being a celebrity. It's about a mother who refused to give up. She was determined to raise a daughter who knew how special she truly was. Their story shows us something important. Behind all the cameras and headlines, there's a real family, with real problems, and real hope. Sometimes, the biggest success is not fame or money. It's love, the kind that helps you become who you are meant to be. This isn't just a story about a girl growing up in the spotlight. It's about a mother who chose love over pressure, and a daughter who turned quiet pain into strength. Riley Burruss didn't become confident because of the cameras. She became confident in spite of them, because behind her was a mother who saw her pain and stood beside her, quietly, fiercely. Boys, maybe that's the real gift. Not fame, not fortune, but the deep bond between a mother and daughter who walked through fire together and came out shining. That evening, Riley's heart felt heavy. She put her head down. Her hands were sweating. Her stomach felt like it was flipping over. After class, her friend Leah walked beside her. "Riley, are you okay?" Leah asked. Riley nodded slowly. "I can't talk about it right now." Leah looked worried. "Please don't do anything crazy." "Okay," Riley whispered. But even she didn't know what crazy meant anymore. At lunch, Riley didn't eat. She sat with her head in her hands. Her mind was full of scary thoughts. What if I'm really pregnant? What if something is growing inside me? What if my mom finds out? What will she say? Will she still love me? The fear didn't stop. That evening back at home, Kandi was making dinner. She called out, "Riley, come set the table please." No answer. Riley was lying on her bed, staring at the ceiling. Not moving. Not blinking. Kandi walked into her room. You've been really quiet lately. Is something going on at school? Riley quickly sat up. No, everything's fine. Kandi looked at her daughter carefully. Are you sure? I'm just tired. I've got homework. Kandi paused. She wanted to ask more, but something told her, not yet. Okay, baby. Dinner's at 10. Riley nodded. As soon as her mom left the room, Riley's eyes filled with tears again. She opened her sock drawer and pulled out the test. The 2 pink lines were still there. Still clear. Still real. She wanted to scream, to throw the test against the wall, to run away from all of it. But she just sat there, frozen. This is my life now, she thought. I'm going to be a mom. But I'm still just a kid. That night she didn't eat again. She told her mom she had a stomach ache. Kandi looked worried. You've had a stomach ache for 3 days, Riley? Riley looked down. It'll go away. Kandi didn't believe her. But she didn't push. Later that night, Riley opened her journal. She wrote very slowly. I feel like I'm drowning. There was no air. No light. Riley felt trapped. She was hiding from the one person who could actually help her, her mom. But she was too scared. Too ashamed. What if she looks at me and thinks I failed? What if she never hugs me again? A tear fell onto her notebook. She didn't wipe it away. The next morning, Riley couldn't even get out of bed. Her back hurt. Her legs were sore. And something in her stomach kept twisting and turning. Kandi walked in. Riley, are you okay? Riley turned to face the wall. Can I stay home today? Is it the same stomach pain? Kandi asked. Yeah, it hurts a lot. Kandi touched Riley's forehead. No fever. It's just cramps, Riley said quickly. You want me to take you to the doctor? No, I'll be fine. I just need to rest. Kandi looked at her carefully but nodded. I'll check on you later. As soon as Kandi left, Riley cried into her pillow. She felt like her body was turning against her. She didn't know what was going on anymore. By the afternoon, Riley forced herself to sit up. She opened her laptop and typed, "What to do if you're pregnant and a teenager." She found stories from girls just like her. Some had help. Some were alone. Some had babies. Some chose other paths. Riley didn't know what she wanted. She just knew. She didn't want to feel alone anymore. That night at dinner, Kandi sat across the table. We haven't talked much lately. Riley picked at her food. I'm just tired. Kandi looked at her gently. You know I'm not just your mom, right? I'm your safe place. Riley nodded, but said nothing. You can tell me anything, Kandi said softly. Riley wanted to scream, I'm pregnant. But instead, she just said, I know. Then I looked away. After dinner, Riley went back to her room. She sat in the dark. She was holding the test again. She whispered the same words over and over. Please don't let this be real. Please don't let this be real. But it was real. She felt the weight of everything pressing on her chest. Her school grades. Her changing body. The secret. The shame. The fear. The loneliness. She pulled her blanket over her head and whispered, I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could undo everything. But time doesn't go backward. And Riley knew tomorrow would come. And with it, more lies, more fear, more pretending. Until one day she wouldn't be able to pretend anymore. Until her body couldn't take it. But she didn't know that yet. All she knew was this. She was scared. And still hiding. To Riley, it didn't feel like days passing. It felt like a storm that never ended. She woke up tired. She went to sleep more tired. Her body hurt. Her mind was spinning all the time. She kept the test hidden. But the secret was now living inside her. Getting louder every day. At school, her teachers started noticing. Mrs. Hall, her math teacher, stopped her after class. Riley, can I talk to you for a second? Riley nodded. Mrs. Hall looked kind but serious. You've been really quiet lately. Your homework's late. You didn't finish your test last week. Is something going on? Riley shrugged. I'm just tired, that's all. Mrs. Hall gave a gentle smile. Everyone gets tired. But this seems like something more. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. Riley nodded again. But she didn't say a word. She walked out of the classroom. Her chest felt tight. Her throat burned. In the cafeteria, she sat at the far end of the table. Alone. Leah came to sit next to her. You need to eat something. Riley poked at her food. I'm not hungry. Leah sighed. You've been saying that for a week. Riley looked away. Leah reached into her backpack. She took out a small granola bar. At least eat this. Riley took it, but she didn't eat it. She just held it, staring at the wrapper, like maybe it could save her. At home, things were getting harder. Kandi was trying to talk, trying to understand, trying not to push too hard. But she could feel something slipping. Her daughter was here, but also far away. You haven't posted on Instagram in a while, Kandi said one night. Riley shrugged. Nothing to post. Want to watch a movie? I have homework. Want to cook with me this weekend? I'll be busy. Kandi sat down on the couch and whispered, Where did you go, Riley? But Riley was already in her room. The door was closed. Lights off. Inside her room, Riley stared at the ceiling again. That ceiling had become her best friend. It never judged her. It never asked questions. It just exists, she whispered. What's happening to me? Her stomach felt bloated. Her lower back was sore. She felt dizzy. And her chest was sore and heavy. Is this what pregnancy feels like? She didn't know. She was too scared to Google again. Every search only made her more afraid. That Friday, Riley went to school, but left early. She told the office she had cramps. They are called Kandi. Kandi came to pick her up. In the car, she asked, Want to talk about it? Riley stared out the window. It's just cramps, Mom. It happens. Kandi sighed. It's been happening for too long, baby. Riley didn't answer. Kandi didn't push. She just drove. But inside, she knew something was very wrong. That evening, Riley lay on the bathroom floor. The tiles were cold. Her skin was sweaty. She didn't have the strength to move. The secret was too heavy now. She could barely hold it. She pressed her cheek against the floor and whispered, I can't do this. But even the walls were silent. Saturday came. Kandi had to leave early for a short meeting. She kissed Riley's forehead and asked, Are you sure you're okay staying alone? Riley nodded. I'm fine. Kandi paused. I love you. Riley forced a smile. I love you too. As soon as the door closed, Riley went straight to the bathroom. She opened the drawer. The test was still there. 2 pink lines. Still clear. Still real. Still staring at her. She stared back. I don't want this. I don't want this life. I'm not ready. She grabbed the edge of the sink. Her knuckles turned white. I don't even know how to tell her. She's going to hate me. She's going to think I ruined everything. Her chest got tight. Tears filled her eyes. I want to disappear. She went back to her room. Locked the door. Lay in bed all day. No food. No water. No sound. Just silence. And fear. Later that evening, Kandi came home. She walked to Riley's door. Knocked softly. Riley? There's no air. No light. I'm hiding from the one person who would help me the most. But I'm too scared. Too ashamed. What if she looks at me and sees failure? What if she never hugs me again? A tear fell on the page. She didn't wipe it away. The next morning, Riley couldn't get out of bed. Her back hurt. Her legs felt weak. And something in her stomach kept twisting. Kandi walked in. Riley, are you feeling okay? Riley turned to the wall. Can I stay home today? Is it the same stomach pain? Yeah. It hurts a lot. Kandi touched her forehead. No fever. It's just cramps, Riley said quickly. You want me to take you to the doctor? No. I'll be fine. I just need rest. Kandi looked at her daughter closely, but nodded. I'll check on you later. As soon as Kandi left, Riley cried into her pillow. She felt like her body was turning against her. She didn't know what was happening anymore. By afternoon, Riley sat up slowly. She opened her laptop and typed, What to do if you're pregnant and a teenager. She read stories from girls like her. Some had help. Some didn't. Some had babies. Some made other choices. Riley still didn't know what she wanted. She just knew one thing. She didn't want to feel alone anymore. That night at dinner, Kandi sat across from her. We haven't talked much lately. Riley picked at her food. I'm just tired. You know I'm not just your mom, right? I'm your safe space. Riley nodded, but didn't say anything. You can tell me anything. Riley wanted to scream, I'm pregnant. But instead, she whispered, I know, and looked away. Later, Riley went back to her room. She sat in the dark, holding the test again. 2 pink lines. Still there. Still real. She whispered, Please don't let this be real. Please don't let this be real. But it was. Her chest felt heavy. Her mind was spinning with thoughts. Her grades. Her body. The secret. The shame. The fear. She pulled the blanket over her head and whispered, "I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could undo it all. But time doesn't go backward." And she knew. Tomorrow will come. With more lies, more fear, more pretending. Until she couldn't pretend anymore. To her, it didn't feel like days passed. It felt like one long, never-ending storm. She woke up tired. I went to bed even more tired. Her body ached. Her mind never stopped spinning. She kept the test hidden. But the truth was growing inside her, getting louder every day. At school, her teachers noticed. One day, after class, her math teacher, Mrs. Hall, stopped her. "Riley, can I talk to you for a second?" Riley nodded. "You've been very quiet lately. Your homework's late. You didn't finish your test last week. Is something going on?" "I'm just tired, that's all," Riley said. "Tired happens," Mrs. Hall smiled gently. "But this seems like something more. If you ever want to talk, I'm here." Riley nodded again, but said nothing. She walked away, her chest tight, her throat burning. In the cafeteria, she sat alone. Leah walked up. "You need to eat something." "I'm not hungry." "You've been saying that for a week." Leah pulled a granola bar from her bag. "At least have this." Riley took it, but didn't eat. She just held it like it might save her. At home, things were getting worse. Kandi tried to talk, tried to understand, but something was wrong. "You haven't posted on Instagram in a while," Kandi said. Riley shrugged. "Nothing to post." "Want to watch a movie?" "I have homework." "Want to cook with me this weekend?" "I'll be busy." Kandi sat on the couch and whispered to herself, "Where did you go, Riley?" But Riley was already behind her bedroom door. Lights off. Alone again. Riley stared at the ceiling. It had become her best friend. It was never judged. Never asked questions. She whispered, "What's happening to me?" Her stomach was bloated. Her back hurt. She felt dizzy. Her chest was sore and heavy. Was this what pregnancy felt like? She didn't know. She was too scared to search anymore. That Friday, she left school early. She told the nurse she had cramps. Kandi picked her up. In the car, Kandi asked, "Want to talk about it?" "It's just cramps, Mom. It happens." "It's been happening for too long, baby." Riley stayed quiet. Kandi didn't push. She just drove. But in her heart, Kandi knew something was deeply wrong. That night, Riley laid on the bathroom floor. The tiles were cold. Her skin was sweaty. She didn't even have the strength to move. The secret felt too heavy now. She whispered, "I can't do this." But even the walls didn't answer. Saturday came. Kandi had to leave for a quick meeting. "Are you sure you're okay staying alone?" "I'm fine." "I love you." "I love you too." As soon as the door closed, Riley went to the bathroom. She opened the drawer. The test was still there. 2 pink lines. Still real. She stared at it. "I don't want this. I'm not ready." She gripped the sink. Her knuckles turned white. I don't even know how to tell her. She's going to hate me. She's going to think I ruined my life. Her chest tightened. Her eyes filled with tears. I want to disappear. She stayed in her room all day. No food. No water. Just silence. And fear. Later that evening, Kandi came home. She knocked on the door. "Riley." No answer. "I brought something from your favorite bakery." Still no answer. Kandi slowly opened the door. Riley was under the blanket, curled up. "You've been in bed all day. Please eat something." "I'm not hungry." Kandi sat on the edge of the bed. "I don't care if it's cake or cereal. I just want you to eat." "I said I'm not hungry." Riley snapped. Kandi stood up slowly. She didn't yell. She didn't scold. She just said softly, "But I'm here. No matter what." Then I walked out. Riley turned to the wall and cried again. Her head pounded. Her stomach was cramped. Her heart broke. I can't tell her. I'll lose everything. She walked to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. Her eyes were dull. Her skin is pale. She whispered to her reflection, "Who are you now?" She reached for the sink. And everything went dark. Riley looked at her mom, her eyes still tired. But something felt different now. Like maybe peace was coming back. She finally asked in a soft voice, "What happens now?" Kandi leaned back in the chair and said gently, "Now we take it one step at a time. First, we make sure you're healthy again. You need rest. You need good food. You need love. And then we talk to a doctor. You'll get help. We'll talk about all the choices. Every single one." Riley looked at her. Are you going to make me keep it? Kandi shook her head slowly. No, baby. I'm not here to stand in front of you. Or behind you. I'm here to stand beside you. This is your body. Your life. But I will help you think everything through. You won't be alone. Riley's eyes filled with tears. Thank you for not yelling at me. I thought you'd scream. Kandi gave a soft smile. I did want to scream, but not at you. I wanted to scream because I almost lost you. That scared me more than anything. Riley whispered. I'm sorry. Kandi gently wiped Riley's tears. You don't have to say sorry anymore. What I need now is a promise. Promise what? Riley asked. Promise me you'll never hide something this big again. Promise you'll talk to me even when you're scared. Riley nodded slowly. I promise. Kandi leaned in and kissed her forehead. That's all I need. We're going to be okay. We'll get through this. Together. Riley closed her eyes. For the first time in weeks, she felt safe. Later that night, a nurse brought Riley a tray of food. Riley looked at it for a second. Then, without anyone telling her, she picked up the fork and started eating. Kandi smiled softly. That's my girl. Before falling asleep, Riley asked, what if people talk about me? What if they judge me? Kandi took her hand. Let them. People will always talk. But let them talk about how strong you are. Let them talk about how you survived. Riley nodded. And this time, she believed it. That night, she slept peacefully. The next morning, Riley woke up in her hospital bed. But this time, she wasn't scared. She didn't feel lost. She felt loved. Kandi had slept all night in the chair beside her, still wearing the same clothes. Her hand was still wrapped around Riley's. When Riley opened her eyes, Kandi was already awake. Good morning, baby, she said softly. Riley gave a small smile, the first one in days. Good morning, Mama. That morning felt different. The fear was still there, but it wasn't controlling her anymore. A kind doctor came in with a warm smile. You're getting stronger, Riley. And we're going to help you get even stronger. She didn't use scary words. She didn't rush. She spoke with love and care. She said Riley had time. She said Riley's body needed rest. She said this was not the end. It could be a new beginning. After the doctor left, Kandi looked at her daughter. Whatever you choose, she said, I'll be right there. If you want to keep the baby, we'll raise it together. If you choose something else, I'll hold your hand the whole way. Riley nodded. Can I take a few days to think? Of course, Kandi said and kissed her hand. That afternoon, Riley's best friend Leah came to visit. She ran in and hugged Riley tight. I'm so sorry you had to go through all this alone. It's okay, Riley said softly. I was just scared. I get it, Leah replied. But next time, you won't be alone. They smiled at each other. Two girls, stronger than before. That night, Riley and Kandi talked more than they had in weeks. There was no yelling, no anger, just truth. Riley told her everything. About the boy, about the pressure, about the guilt, about the pain. And Kandi listened. She really listened. Riley said quietly, I blamed myself. Thought maybe I deserved what happened. Kandi's eyes filled with tears. No, baby. No one deserves to be lied to. No one deserves to feel small or scared. You were tricked. But now you're wiser. And you'll rise from this. A few days later, Riley left the hospital. She wasn't completely healed yet. But she was healing. She walked out holding her mom's hand. Her head was a little higher. Her heart a little lighter. At home, things started to feel normal again. Kandi and Riley cooked together. They watched old cartoons. They played music. They danced in the kitchen, just like when Riley was 5. One quiet afternoon, Riley picked up a notebook. She started to write. She wrote about what happened. She wrote about the fear, the silence, the pain. But she also wrote about her strength, her mom's love, and her second chance. She titled it, I thought I was broken, but I was just becoming me. Weeks passed. Riley went back to school. Some days still felt heavy. Some days the world still felt too loud. But now, she had tools. She had her mom. She had her journal. She had her voice. One day, Kandi was invited to speak at a teen girls event. She didn't plan to bring Riley, but Riley asked, Can I come too? At the end of Kandi's talk, Riley stood up. She walked slowly to the mic. Her hands shook. Her voice cracked. But she spoke. A few weeks ago, I collapsed. I was hiding something too heavy. I thought my life was over, but it wasn't. I found strength I didn't know I had. And I had a mom who reminded me that love doesn't go away when you mess up. It grows even bigger. The room was completely silent. Then, loud clapping. Cheers. Cheers. Kandi walked up and stood beside her daughter. Proud. Eyes full of love. That night as they walked home, Riley looked up at her mom and said, "Thank you for not giving up on me." Kandi smiled and pulled her into a hug. Never. Not in this life. Not ever.